So the women do have similar bodies to women on Earth.
Okay.
Quite slender. Not terribly tall. Average height of a male and female on Earth.
So you said they have silver, shiny skin?
Silver, shiny skin. Dark eyes.
So how many of these people, family, are on the spaceship currently with you and Brian?
Well, we seem to be on the deck where you control the ship. It seems everyone's come to... It's not the mothership, it's just one of the satellite ships.
Mm-hmm.
And there seem to be at least a dozen.
And when you say they're family, is it like a family concept we have here as humans, or is it a different family concept?
It's a soul grouping. It's not mother, father, brother, sister. We are all just brothers and sisters. They're not speaking physically. It's telepathy.
Okay.
They're very happy to see us.
And what's it like for you to see them?
We're a little confused, but we're starting to regain this remembrance that we do belong there.
As you look at your body, what do you see? What do you sense?
Yeah, I've become one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Brian too.
And how does that feel?
Definitely a higher vibration than I have on Earth. My whole body's tingling, buzzing.
Is there a sense of belonging?
Yes. I'm not quite sure yet why we're there, what we're doing.
Are they there to take you somewhere else, or are they there just to be with you?
Our physical bodies are still on the Earth, looking up at the spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
This is a higher version of Brian and I, and it's a reconnaissance mission. Just checking on what's happening on Earth.
So it's like you're reporting into them?
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And how do you communicate your report to them? How do you share with them?
Just my thoughts, reading Akashic records.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like I have an antenna, and they pick up signals from my antenna.
So is it a continuous report in, or do you go on a scheduled basis?
No, it's continuous. They're reading me all the time.
Okay. So you have an antenna in your physical body currently?
I see it. It seems like it's physical. I can see it as if it's physical, but it's etheric.
Okay, but where would it be
off
positioned?
Off the top of my head.
Okay, so right off.
Literally straight up the top of my head from my crown chakra. Yeah.
Is it very big?
It looks to be maybe 8 inches long.
Okay.
Yeah, Brian has one too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what types of things do you report back to them?
They seem to be measuring the emotional status of Earth and the inhabitants. So, okay. So when I am around other beings on Earth, I absorb readings from these beings I'm around, and that's how they monitor how people are feeling on Earth.
Okay. And why is it important for them to know that?
Partly because at some point they want to make contact. They don't want to do it ahead of schedule, meaning Earth human schedule. They don't want to create any shock or fear. They're also trying to buffer some of the negativity on Earth, so they know, depending on where I am at any given time, they can read the readings from that area, and they know if maybe that area needs more buffering, or maybe they need to release more of the energies that are around the planet to assist us.
So if an area needs more buffering, how would they accomplish that?
Creating shields, energetic shields in that area.
Mm-hmm.
The areas that have a higher density of fear, they need to buffer more than the ones that are more awakened.
So have they positioned you and Brian in your current location for any strategic reasons?
We're there temporarily. It seems as if we'll be moving on shortly.
Mm-hmm.
Once things are in place for us to move onward. And we will be visiting a lot of different places to provide this feedback for them.
Okay.
I keep hearing Moldavec, something like that. I don't know if that's the planet they're from.
Well, let's ask. There's someone there you can ask, right? What does Moldavec mean?
Yeah, that's where they're from. Moldavec.
That's the planet? So is Moldavec in this galaxy? And I apologize for stupid questions, but I am trying to learn.
The commander's laughing. He says there's no such thing as stupid questions.
Good. I appreciate that. So where is Moldavec?
It is in this galaxy.
Okay.
He's saying there's so many planets in this galaxy that we have not been made aware of, that we're being kept from. And he said if we knew how many there were, we would be awestruck.
So why are they not in our awareness? Why are they not within our awareness?
To keep us limited in our thinking.
So what keeps them hidden, though? Why can't we see them, or?
Oh, partly because our vibration hasn't been raised enough to allow us to see them.
So if our vibration were higher, we'd see these planets?
Yes.
Okay. And this feedback that they're gathering, you indicated that was so that they would know when to, make themselves known. Would that be a change in vibration? Or would they lower their vibration so we could see them? Or?
They won't lower their vibration. They're waiting for humanity to catch up a little bit.
Oh, okay, so by raising the vibration.
Yes.
Okay.
Commander figures could be as much as 20 years until they feel that humans are really ready. At least the ones that are trailing behind in their awareness.
Mm-hmm. So you're one of these beings, right?
Yes.
And you have a physical body on Earth.
Yes.
Have you always been in this physical body?
No.
So how did you come to be in the physical body?
I was invited in.
Can you explain that?
The original soul has stepped aside and allowed me in for the greater good.
So what happened to the original soul?
She's still there, but she sits in the background. She basically just operates the human vehicle. And that's all she does. She breathes. She allows me to do my work.
So she's there now.
Yes.
So why did she step aside to allow you to come in?
He was contracted.
Mm-hmm. And when did you come in?
When she was 13. She allowed me in. I contacted her in the dream state. And then she was brought on board the ship and she agreed.
So it sounded like, based on what Paula was saying, that she had a difficult childhood growing up.
Yes.
Is that why there aren't many memories of the childhood?
For her safety, we blocked a lot of them.
Hmm.
She couldn't have even coped with half of what she would have remembered. So we just erased them. The ones that she didn't need for her spiritual development.
Sounds like it was a beneficial arrangement.
Yes, absolutely.
But she's still there.
She's still here.
And
She's a beautiful soul.
yeah. And how does she feel about the arrangement?
She's grateful. She's very grateful that we came. She doesn't feel so alone.
So Paula mentioned when, I guess, the soul was 11, she was surrounded by blue beings. Do you know anything about these blue beings?
I'm not the only one that inhabits her body. Oh, there's many. She's like a way station.
Mm-hmm.
And many of us, actually, we can come and go. These blue beings. They are part Pleiadian, 7th density. They needed her vehicle. She needed to fulfill her contract, so they came to save her.
And if she'd committed suicide, she wouldn't have had a body for, I guess, beings to come.
Yes.
So she had an important job to do, an important purpose.
Exactly. Yeah, these blue beings, they do similar work to what I do. They monitor. They also monitor Gaia to see where she is and what she needs.
And where are the blue beings from?
All I get is cobalt. I don't know if that's cobalt blue, cobalt planet,
That's okay, you're doing great.
cobalt.
So let's come back to you as a silver being. Do you have a name? Is there something that you're referred to as?
Shamina.
Shamina? That's pretty. And is there a sense of age? How old would you be?
In Earth years, 43.
And as do you start off kind of Earth as a baby and grow into an adult?
We are created from thought. Love, thought.
And are you fully formed when you're created as through this love thought?
We are not babies, but small versions of our adult selves.
Mm-hmm. So as you change, or as you age, what changes within you then? You become larger versions?
Larger versions, physically. Well, we're not really physical, but larger versions, and our ability to use our consciousness expands. So that we can create from thought. As children, as you know it, we have to learn safely how to use our consciousness so we don't create that which we don't want.
That makes sense. Creating from thought would be quite powerful.
We can create almost anything.
Is that a power that Paula brings into the human form?
She will have it.
Is this one of the superpowers she's asking about?
Yes. She will simply envision, think of it, envision it, feel it, and it will literally just appear.
Very cool.
We are going to leave her now.
Okay. Thank you for the information you've provided.
You're welcome.
So we're going to have you drift and float. We're going to leave this scene, Paula. We're going to drift and float. Drift and float. To another time, another place. Where there's information.
Right from when you started talking, I could see myself as a mermaid.
Okay. Let's drift and float if you like to become a mermaid. Can you see yourself as a mermaid?
I am in the water, but just up to my waist, and I'm looking at beautiful white buildings. And it is Lemuria.
And are you a mermaid?
When I want to be. I can also walk on land when I want to.
Okay, so you have some shape-shifting ability?
Yes. I can be an animal, a bird, a plant, whatever I choose, whatever I want to experience.
And how do you change?
Just I desire it.
Okay, it's just a desire. Can you describe the buildings in Lemuria?
They look like crystal, but not clear crystal. They're somewhat opaque. But they're all white. And when the sun hits them, they're luminous.
Sounds pretty.
I'm going go on the land now.
Okay. And on the land, what form have you taken?
I look the same from the waist up, but I just have grown legs. I'm going to go to the temple.
What's at the temple? Why do you want to go there?
I teach there.
Okay, what do you teach at the temple?
Teach the children.
Do you enjoy teaching the children?
I love teaching the children.
And what do you teach them?
How to be who they really are. How to be conscious. That everything has consciousness. To respect the consciousness of everyone and everything around them.
Sounds like important teachings.
It's fun.
Do you have a sense whether you're male or female?
I'm female for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you must have been a child growing up too then.
I was.
What was that like?
We have parents, but our parents didn't really raise us.
Mm-hmm.
The expression, it takes a village,
Right.
it applies here.
Mm-hmm. So you had teachers like you yourself are a teacher.
My mother was a teacher,
Mm-hmm.
and her mother was a teacher. Seems to run in our DNA, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
Although it's not really DNA. It's different. It's a crystalline program.
Mm-hmm. Can you explain this crystalline program?
So we choose it before that particular lifetime, and it's like an implant. It's implanted in the center of the brain, and it reminds us of what we are to do. Although we come in knowing more so than now. We weren't blocked so much back then from remembering. And the particular lineage that I belong to, we're teachers. That's what we've chosen to do. So I chose my lineage because I wanted to be a teacher. And I really wanted to teach the children.
Mm-hmm. Why did you want to teach the children?
They're pure. Their thoughts don't get in the way. They're spontaneous and they just exude joy. And sometimes as we mature, we forget about the joy, and we lose it.
Sounds like the children are a constant reminder of the joy.
Always.
Yeah.
And I teach them by encouraging them to explore their consciousness and their abilities. It's playing more than learning through playing.
Mm-hmm.
There's one little boy and he's created a ball of light in his hands. And he's using it almost like molding clay. See what he can do with it. They're all about, I say, age 7 through 10.
Mm-hmm. How does it feel watching him do this?
I feel very proud of him.
Mm-hmm.
He's so bright. And he knows no limits. It's just his imagination just knows no limits.
And you've given him that space to explore, haven't you?
Mm. Yes.
Is there satisfaction in seeing this in that space?
Oh, so much.
Beautiful. So we're going to leave this scene you were looking at and drift and float to an important day in that life. A day when something important is happening. And now we are there. What do you see? What is happening?
People are fighting. There's disagreements over how to do things, what to do, when to do it. I don't want to be a part of this. What's wrong with the way things have been? Everything was peaceful and loving, joyful.
What started this fighting?
Somebody invented something powerful, and they want to use it to create, to experiment or create something different. And I get a really awful feeling about it. I don't think it's good. I really don't think it's good.
No.
I just want to go back to the children.
Let's leave this scene you were looking at. And we're going to drift and float to another important day in that life. A day when something important is happening. And now you're there. What's happening?
There's total panic.
There's total panic?
Total panic. Something has happened. Something's gone really wrong. I feel shaking in the ground. I see the waves just crashing. Not like a tsunami, but just they've been stirred up. People are just running around. They don't know what to do or where to go. Buildings are crumbling. And I'm afraid for the children. I want to protect them. I don't know how to protect them. No one knows what to do. I don't think there's anything that can be done. I think it's too late. I'm just going to go back to the temple.
Do you go back to the temple all by yourself?
Yes.
Is there anyone else at the temple?
No. And I just sit in the middle of the temple and I just pray. Everything's falling all around me. I know there's nothing I can do. So I just pray for the souls of the people, that they may be taken swiftly and painlessly.
What happens next?
Just buried under rubble. I left my body ahead of time so I wouldn't feel the pain.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just floating, watching as everything crumbles. nothing I can do. It's all lost.
Now, whatever has already happened, and you are on the other side of it.
Mm-hmm.
From this perspective, you can easily look at the entire life. Every life has lessons and a purpose. What were the lessons you learned in that life?
Basically, that all that matters is love. Nothing else. And nothing can take love from you. And you can never give it all away. And it's unconditional, no matter what someone does, says, can't be taken away. It's always present.
What was the purpose of that life?
It's for me to be with the children. To really remember and be reminded of the true meaning of joy. And to be reminded to always use my imagination, that that's my canvas.
Mm-hmm. So what caused the destruction of Lemuria?
Similar to the CERN collider that is currently on Earth. It's the same sort of device. We're using it to create portals to other dimensions. They were playing with fire.
Was that the invention that caused the disagreements and the fighting earlier on?
Yes. These engineers forgot that they were already creators, that their consciousness could take them anywhere they wanted to go, that they shut down their consciousness. They forgot their joy, their imagination that they had as children.
And then they invented this?
They invented something they already had, except this was dangerous.
Right. So from this perspective, is there anything else you want to mention now?
It's very interesting that the CERN on this planet's already imploded. It will never be used for that again.
So what are you calling this? A CERN?
CERN, C-E-R-N. It's a device owned by the Illuminati, the Cabal.
Okay.
And it was to be used for them to enter and exit the planet at will. When they recently tried to use it, some would say it exploded, but it really imploded. And it's not usable anymore.
So it won't cause harm?
No. Yeah, we're safe.
Good, good. So how does it feel to be where you are now?
I'm free, but I didn't feel anything but free when I was on Lemuria as well. I feel very similar. do have to go meet with my guides now.
Okay, well, let's do that. We'll leave that scene, and we'll drift and float to meet your guides. And now we are there. What do you see, or what's happening?
They're just reassuring me that there's nothing I could have done. I did what I was sent to do. And they said that through my prayer before the total collapse of Lemuria, that I saved a lot of souls who otherwise might not have returned to the light.
Just through the power of the prayer.
Yes.
That's
They said
beautiful.
many more would have been lost.
Mm-hmm.
I gave them a pathway back to the light.
And how does it feel to know that you had that power? You were able to save those souls.
It helps heal the pain of knowing what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And all my children are safely in the light.
The children that you were teaching?
Yes.
Well, that's good. So you're meeting with your guides. How many guides are there for you?
3.
Can you describe them for me?
They just look like wise old men, long white beards, white robes. There's one in particular who's got just a big grin on his face. He's happy. Nothing seems to bother him.
Have these guides been with you through many lifetimes?
No, the one I'm talking about just said, "Oh, since time began, yes." She's been here since time began.
Mm-hmm.
And we will be with her.
Always.
Always.
And how do you refer to these wise men, these guides?
I want to call him my father.
Mm-hmm.
The other 2, they're more like uncles, but yeah, I want to call him my father. He's millions of years old. He says, "Oh yeah, since time began."
Is he your father?
Yes.
From millions of years ago?
Yes.
And he's traveled with you?
Yeah. He says, "I've got a lot of children."
Mm. And these uncles? What are...
They're support staff.
Okay, what is the feeling that
he's
they
sort of the main headliner, and there's the support staff. Yeah.
And do you meet with these guides after every life?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do they help you plan out your next life?
He's laughing. He says, "She doesn't need anyone to plan anything for her anymore. She's an expert."
Okay, I was going to ask, why is that? Mm-hmm.
Basically, I will see I'm given it different options of what areas need the most assistance, what planets, what galaxies, and then I decide what I want to challenge myself with, and then I put in a request to go, and top 3 requests to go, and then I'm offered one of them.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. So it's not, I don't need to do anything with karma anymore. That's so passé. I just go where I'm needed.
So why did you choose this human existence as Paula?
You know, this is where the action is this time. This is a biggie. This is the be it all and end all of experiments. And we as a family of light have decided that it's time for the darkness to go.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need any more suffering. People have learned all they can learn from suffering. There's only so much you can learn, and then it's just a repeating loop that serves no purpose. So the dark's going to go this time, for a long time.
So why did Paula choose to be here now?
Because she's powerful beyond belief.
In what way? Or what ways?
However she chooses. She can do absolutely anything she chooses. She can create anything from light. She's created planets and galaxies. Yeah, and she created this one too.
She created this planet, this galaxy?
Yes. Not by herself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she wanted to know about the Guardians. Yeah, the Guardians created this galaxy. It was birthed through the womb of the Guardians, and she is one of them. There's 8 Guardians.
She talked as though they were like wise women.
Mm-hmm.
Very ancient.
You'd have to be to create a galaxy, I guess.
Well, that's true. And they invited her into the circle. That's because she's one of them then.
They wanted her to remember.
Mm.
She needs to accept her power and not be afraid of it.
Has she been hesitant to accept her power?
Oh, yes. But mainly because of the physical Paula. The one that experienced the trauma.
Mm-hmm. Can you explain that a little more?
Well, through the trauma and feeling powerless, her entire childhood existence has crept into her adulthood.
That part of Paul is still part of her, right?
It is on some level that part of that traumatized part of Paula has to acquiesce to the greater part of who she is, to let it go, to really let it go.
And is that something you can help her with today? Now that she's identified that?